What's good, peeps? Thanks always for passing by the channel. Much appreciated. Hit that subscribe button if you guys are new. All right, so I leave the country next weekend for like a month. And before I go, I want to try and get another sit-down interview with someone. What I want, though, I want someone that's not in the boxing world per se. So obviously Umar and Rob, obviously, you know what they do. So they can't be, and this is no slight against them, but they can't be as brutal as I am. I'm very brutal. I don't really give a fuck just because I don't have to then go out and interview these guys. So I want to get someone that A, knows their boxing, but isn't afraid to just be brutally honest. So if anyone can think of anyone, please drop me a message and we'll get them on, because I just want someone that will just give it to me straight, just like I think I do, and that'll make for fun viewing. So yeah, if anyone knows anyone like that, I might reach out to Boxing Lowdown, actually. I think he's a bit brutal. Might reach out to him and see if we can get him on the show. I say the show, on my fucking armchairs, which is a show, before I fly out. All right, let's talk Daniel Dubois, who beat Ebenezer Tete by first round stoppage yesterday night at Royal Albert Hall. Early stoppage? No, yes. I've seen some people say it should have gone on a bit. I don't think so. I think it would have brutalized that guy if the ref let it continue. So I think it's a fair stoppage. Another good win for Daniel Dubois. That's 4 wins this year. Again, I mentioned this before, but he won Young British Boxer of the Year as well. So decent year. I did say that Frank Warren said, I think in an interview with, might have been Fight Hype, that he might bring him out again this year, but I doubt it. It's not that, it's just a training camp, really. That's what tires fighters out. So I can't see him going for another training camp to then fight someone December. I just can't see it. So that's probably that for Daniel Dubois this year. It's been a 10 out of 10 year. British champion, Commonwealth champion, beat your domestic rival. His profile's raised a bit. He seems to be less camera shy, seems to be a bit more confident in front of the camera. Although, and I was saying this with Umar Ahmed, I do think this persona is good. This persona, this kind of mystique where he just answers questions with one answer. It's not a bad thing to do, right? Not every fighter is going to be like Tyson Fury. So good year for Daniel Dubois. That all being said, can we just pump the fucking brakes a bit? Please, please. I did a video about Daniel Dubois 4 or 5 days ago, and I said, potentially, could he become a world champion? In that video, I was talking about in 5 years' time. I wasn't talking about tomorrow or next year. I was saying in 5 years' time. So basically, when he's 27, can he become a world champion? I said yes, but again, 5 years in the future. I didn't say that he could beat some of the names I'm hearing people think he can beat now. I didn't say that. I didn't say I think he can beat Joe Joyce, because I don't. I definitely didn't say that I think he can beat Dillian White. I mean, I was seeing some fucking horrendous statements over social media yesterday. I think he beats Dillian White in 5. Well, where's everyone getting this from? Just because he beat a guy that initially everyone was saying was a bum. So let's understand this a bit. When the fight against Ebenezer Tete was mentioned, everyone was like, oh, who the fuck's this bum he's fighting? He beats the bum, and all of a sudden, by beating a bum, he now can beat Dillian White. I mean, you guys have to be slightly fucking crazy. Honestly, slightly crazy. He's not beaten that level of opponent yet. I'm excited by him, right? Hence why I made that video. But in no way, shape or form do I believe, because he beat, can't remember the guy's name now, Rajan Klavan, if that is his name, Richard Lartey, fucking Nathan Gorban and Ebenezer Tete, do I think now that he can jump into the world mix? Not at all. Not at all. I see many mistakes. I mean, his chin is in the air, begging for someone to crack it. These guys haven't been able to do it yet, but even the level just above the Gormans is a frighteningly good level of talented fighters. So, yeah, let's pump the brakes a bit. I think Dempsey yesterday, the BT Sports presenter, some of the questions he asked to Joe Joyce I thought were a bit disrespectful. Joe Joyce is an Olympic silver medalist who has beaten some decent opposition. Not great, again, but decent opposition. Brian Jennings was a decent fighter. He's not the Brian Jennings that fought Vladimir Klitschko, or even the Brian Jennings that fought Ortiz. Still Brian Jennings. So yeah, I would have Joe Joyce above him. I'll definitely have Dillian White above him. I mean, Chisora's proven at a decent level. I'd have Chisora above him. So yeah, let's not get too excited. I mean, Frank Warren didn't help it by this week saying that his jab, or something about comparing his jab to Larry Holmes. I mean, do you know how many fucking people he's just jumped there? He just compared Daniel Dubois' jab to that of the best ever jab in the heavyweight division. I mean, you can make an argument that it's the best ever jab in boxing, because it was pretty much like a fucking right hand. And that's what Frank Warren just compared Daniel Dubois' jab to. Everyone just needs to calm down a bit and really look at the level of opponents he's just beaten. Yes, he's put them to sleep, and we get that. But at this level, if there is something about you, these are the kind of fighters you will put to sleep. Let's be honest, they are. Let's not forget as well, 5 fights ago, Kevin Johnson took him to points. Now, Kevin Johnson obviously knows how to survive, but Kevin Johnson took him to points, right? He's got power. Do I think it's AJ power? No, I actually don't. It's clearly not Deontay Wilder power. So he's got some power, but he's a big lad. He should have power. So yeah, look, I'm excited by him. I think he's a good prospect, which is what I think he is, a good prospect. But again, my video was saying, can he be world champion in 5 years? And I said that for a number of reasons. Number one, because he's only 22. Let's not forget that. And I think that by the age of 27, 28, he's at his peak, right? He's complete, right? And he's had a lot more fights under his belt, maybe 10, 15 more fights, something like that. And number two, the reason I said 5 years is because all the guys that I think are above him are obviously a lot older and probably be retired in 5 years. He can't beat any of those guys now. None of them. So I wish I could find the guy that mentioned Dillian White. Stop it, bro. Stop it, mate. Please stop it. Fucking hell, how can you beat Ebenezer Tete and you can now beat Dillian White? Fuck's sake. Peace.